Hello, I'm Lily. I'm gonna to talk about what is phrase expansion and what is the phrase expansion hypermeter, and I will discuss some of the examples. Okay, we have turned to page 64. They have the explanations of what is the phrase expansions. The down the bottom of the paragraph. The specific portions of the basic phrase that is subject to transformation, since expansions usually affect only a part of the original phrase, is called the prototype. The transformed version of the prototype is called the expansion, and the new version of the phrase as a whole is termed a phrase expanded phrase. The process of the phrase expansion usually involves adding not only greater length to a basic phrase, but more notes as well. So they have more as well, and then they have the original and transform versions. And we turn to 60 as the last paragraph. The middle of the paragraph is saying phrase expansions can be divided into two categories: internal and external. Internal expansions involve adding length within the basic phrase itself. External expansions involve the addition of subordinate material either before or after the basic phrase, leaving the basic phrase itself more or less unaffected. A phrase that is expanded external may also be expanded internally, but the two types of the expansion should be considered separately. Of the two types, external expansions are generally easier to recognize, so we will discuss them first. External expansion themselves fall into two categories, that will be prefix and suffix. And they may be either small, consists of less than a complete phrase, or large, consists of one or more complete phrases. So we're gonna discuss external expansions first. So external expansions they have two different types of the category, two different kind of the categories, prefix and suffix. Prefix is more like introductions, and then suffix is more cadental. Yeah. So we move on to page 70. There is 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 paragraphs is discussed like the large prefix may itself including a small prefix or a small prefix. Yeah. So they have prefix maybe have only 2 incomplete measure, and then they were followed by the 4 measures, so in total it will be 6. And then there is a most important spot here. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 paragraphs, the last sentence of the 4 paragraphs in which a suffix is similarly transforming into a prefix. So we can think about the suffix. It's also kind of the little transform into like a next session. I will discuss this now, because we turn to page 71. The bottom of the paragraph, there's discuss some of the spot. Like say a suffix is kind of the little transitions to the next sections, because the 71, the bottom of the paragraph, here said, the end of the denouement section in sonata form commonly features a small suffix following a half cadence in the tonic key. A lead-in between this suffix and the beginning of the recapitulation is also common. Codas are almost always large suffixes. A large suffixes may occur after any four cadence. So that will occur after any four cadence. It's really important here. Large suffixes are especially common in sonata form. The part of the exposition known as the closing theme is typically a large suffix to the second group. So it's the kind of suffix will repeat the small segment of the theme and connecting to like after closing, now we're connecting with the recapitulation. Yeah. And we turn to page 74, the internal expansion. What is internal expansion? I have several examples here. The first one will be expansions by repetition within the phrase. So this all paragraph is just discuss some of the sequence, but it's not called sequence. It's just the instead of the expansion of the phrase, because we can watch the example 3.6 that have the cell degree C first, and then cell degree 3, and cell degree 2, and cell degree 1. So that will be 3, 2, 1, and then the passing motion. But here has some spot. The first measure a cell degree 3 E to C, and then cell degree 2 D to B. So it's C, E, C, D, B. It's kind of sequence, but here is like kind of the explain another way is the expansion of phrase. Yeah. And one more example we can follow in like the page 76, the example 3.8. This one is really interesting, so I want to discuss this as well. And this example will be Haydn Symphony number 42, second movement. And so the way I see it, the measure 83 is the first one, and 84 is number 2. So 1, 2, and then they have the 85 to 90 will be several sequences, and then it's kind of the parentheses. Yeah, it's really easy. It's really easy to watch because like we can turn to page 77, the below of the paragraph. The basic phrase instead linking the first two and last two measures of the expanded phrase. So also we can watch out the example 3.9 that have B in on top of the upper voice, B, A, and G sharp. And the bass line will be B, B sharp, and C sharp. It's like the passing motion. So there will be like we watch out the example 3.8, B on the top of the voice, and B on top of the in the bass line is will be 83, and A with B sharp will be 91 in bar 91, B sharp with the upper voice A, and the C sharp in the bass line, and G sharp on top of the voice will be 92. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bar will be 83, 84, 91, and 92, because 85 to 90 will be like a parentheses. Because having said that, we tend to watch the 78 on top of the paragraph. The sequences functions much like a parenthesis within a phrase as a whole. Yeah. So the big structure will be passing motion. We can watch example 3.10. That will be very clear and then show here. So the first measure 83, 84, and then to have some of the sequences after that 91 and 92. So it's also mentioned here. So will be really interesting in this example. And we turn to like 78. I want to mention like what is the deceptive cadence, which is means 5 to 6, and it's called like internal expansion. The passages that follows the deceptive cadence and dates back to 5 to 1 is not a suffix but an internal expansion. The melodic line in this expansion may either repeat part of the basic phrase or may deviate from it. The bass, however, normally return to the dominant in order to condense 5 to 1. Often, a part of the bass line is actually repeated. So we can watch the example 3.11. It's very interesting here also. We will discuss that the bar 3. We will think about like, oh, bar 3 and bar 4 will be 5 to 6. So maybe have a little bit deceptive cadence. But no, this is like imitation. Because the first leg will be B sharp to C sharp. Then B to C. And then here is G sharp to A. So it's kind of imitate, not the deceptive cadence. And then they have arpeggiation because bar 2 is C sharp, and then bar 4 A, and then connecting to F sharp. So it's bar arpeggiation. So it's followed by 1, 6, and 2, 6. So it's really interesting. Not all the 5 to 6 exceptive cadence. It's all concluding like the internal expansion. Sometimes it's not. So identified even this similarly sample type of the expansion is not without its difficulties. So it's not kind of the every single example is like exceptive cadence. So we have to very carefully about that. And then we turn to one more important thing I want to mention is 91, the purple patch. It occurs in the context of the major key and involves a harmony regions borrowed from the parallel minor. So that will be flat 6, flat 3, and flat 2 neo-pattern. But a purple pitch is more like borrowed a parallel minor. So here also like said, the model mixture of the tonic triads so frequently found in Schubert's music generally does not indicate phrase expansion, while unexpanded patterns on flat 6 very often do. So flat 6 is really important, like the purple patch. And then I want to mention lastly, turn to 97, the phrase expansion and hypermeter. The 3 whole pages is described like phrase expansions can transfer in the original hypermeter hypermetrical structure, stretching it up to several times the length. So it's pretty much is, and then we can conduct the big structure and big unit. So I think that will be the assignment. Thank you.